Napoli ended 2025 in ominous fashion with 3 straight 2-0 victories that helped deliver the Super Cup and consolidate their league position. But first up, following the turn of the year, are Lazio, a recent bogey team for the champions. The Biancocelesti have gone 6 unbeaten against Napoli, winning 4 of those. So Antonio Conte's side will need to be at their best to claim maximum points this afternoon. At a drizzly Stadio Olimpico, this Serie A Sunday begins with a big match between 2 famous names in Serie A. It's Lazio-Napoli on the way. And before we get started, we will have a minute's silence to remember all of those affected by the tragedy in Switzerland, in Crans-Montana. Final checks for Davide Massa. A recent bogey team for Napoli. Lazio have won 4 of the last 6 meetings between these 2 sides across all competitions. But Napoli appear to have found some very impressive form. Certainly carried that form into the end of 2025. It's whether they can pick up where they left off since the turn of the year. Juventus were unable to do so yesterday. Juan Jesus has to be quick here. Cancellieri's very rapid, he's done well. Cancellieri with the cross. Noslin waits. And rather than go for goal himself, he tried to cushion it back to Zaccagni. And perhaps Noslin should have backed himself to score there. Too easy for Cancellieri against Juan Jesus. Noslin thought he could tee up Zaccagni. In the end, it's fine defending from Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Di Lorenzo. Very busy run of matches for all concerned, but especially those involved in European football, as Napoli are. 8 matches across 24 days, culminating the end of the month, the home game against Chelsea and match day 8 of the Champions League. Politano trying to get away from Luca Pellegrini, who played the ball. Cataldi. One back by Di Lorenzo. Now Politano, only Højlund waits in the box, he's outnumbered. Politano standing it up. Here's Spinazzola! No one picked him up. And it's the former Roma player who scores against Lazio for Napoli. And it's a great start to 2026 for the champions. Politano with the wing play. And it's the other wide man who just wandered in unattended. Di Lorenzo intercepting it high up the pitch. Politano tricking his way past Pellegrini. And watch how much ground Spinazzola makes here. Quick check over the shoulder to see where Cancellieri was. Cancellieri didn't pick him up. And Spinazzola just had to guide it past Provedel. An early setback for Lazio. Now Politano, again causing problems for Pellegrini. Politano. Højlund would have had a simple finish had it not been for the work of Alessio Romagnoli. And this is why Conte is picking Politano. Plenty look at his lack of goals. He hasn't scored since March, but it's causing all sorts of problems on the far side. In by Politano. Too high for McTominay. It was taken off the head of Juan Jesus. Spinazzola. Now Di Lorenzo. Politano. Unable to get away from Luca Pellegrini on this occasion. Politano's certainly capable from this position, especially if you get runners in the goalkeeper's eye line. Politano's ball in. Rrahmani! It's 2 for Napoli. Different players pitching in with goals today. And Amir Rrahmani gets his first goal in more than a year. He helped to win the set piece, and he scores from the resulting free kick. And once again, the scoreline reads 2-0 to Napoli. Politano with 2 assists now. And it was just guided home by the centre-back. His first goal since match day 17 of last season, when he found the net at Genoa. Now he makes his mark in the capital. What's so astonishing about this recent sequence, as Noslin wins it off Rrahmani, he's round the keeper. Noslin. Cancellieri. Well, blocked by McTominay. Guendouzi meantime, Lazio have woken up. Guendouzi. Good-looking cross. Milinkovic-Savic had to wait before punching it clear. Luca Pellegrini. Well, the whistle's gone because Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, I think, has collided with his own player there, and diving out and punching it, he's caught Politano. And unless it's a head injury, the referee's under no obligation to stop play. But given where Politano is, inside his own penalty area, would become hazardous. Rrahmani, having just scored nearly, gifted Lazio a goal. That was good from McTominay not to use his arms. Just there. Lobotka. The rain has relented. Di Lorenzo. Here's the captain again. David Neres allowed to turn. Neres. Elmas off the crossbar. That might have been game over inside the first half. Elmas clattering the bar. Again, it's a cross, causing all sorts of problems for the home side. Elmas. McTominay lets it run. McTominay decided to go for goal himself. This time Ned is standing it up. Elmas between a couple of defenders. Provedel was beaten. The frame of the goal. The 3 added minutes have been played, and it's another exemplary half of football from the champions Napoli. A couple of different scorers this afternoon. Spinazzola with the opener after an assist from Politano. Rrahmani with the second after A delivery from the same player. Once again, rock solid at the back. And with a cutting edge in the final third, it's a heady cocktail. And it's one of the reasons why they're firmly in the Scudetto conversation. At the break, Lazio 0, Napoli 2. It looks a long way back for Lazio, but first things first, the Biancocelesti need to try and eat into this healthy lead that Napoli enjoy. No changes to either side at the start of this second half. After a first period which was dominated by the Partenopei, Lazio's only sight of goal was that strange decision really from Noslin to try and head it back towards Zaccagni as opposed to going for goal himself. Elmas with the corner, Mario Hila away. This is David Neres with an air shot, which he'll now claim was a dummy. Pellegrini, nice Veronica away from a couple of black shirts. Basic, Zaccagni. Cataldi keeps the momentum of the move. Guendouzi. Marusic, Cancellieri missed it. And Basic can't get there ahead of Milinkovic-Savic, but that's the best Lazio have produced by far. David Neres is interested. Romagnoli had to hurry. Noslin behind Basic. This is McTominay. Politano. David Neres. His ball in. Spinazzola. Almost had another. That's McTominay. Politano, the foot was high. It's a foul on Noslin. Cancellieri. Juan Jesus played the ball. This is Højlund. Still Rasmus Højlund. Side netting only. Provedel had his near post covered. But again, far too easy for Napoli, just an interception. And Elmas well within his rights to ask for the ball to be squared there. As Højlund gives chase. Højlund backing into Mario Hila. Holding the ball up well. He's come on leaps and bounds in that area of his game. Shades of the work that Conte did with Lukaku at Inter. Getting Ranocchia on him in training. Clattering him from behind day in, day out. Politano. Højlund. It's in by Mazzocchi, and Elmas has missed another one. This was arguably an easier chance than the previous one. That time he hit the crossbar, this time around he's put it wide. Once again, crosses are proving beyond Lazio. And Elmas got over this one too much. Guendouzi. Now Noslin. Marusic. A goal now for Lazio makes it a very interesting conclusion to this game. But they have been struggling for goals recently. And now they've given the ball away. Højlund. Play on. McTominay. Strikes it and hits it wide. Mario Hila looking for movement ahead of the ball. Buongiorno intercepts, then Noslin fouled him, and Noslin might be in trouble here. Lazio are going to go down to 10 for yet another match. Far too many red cards this season. Noslin, having previously been booked for that clash with Rrahmani, has now caught Buongiorno from behind, and a time when Lazio only have one available senior centre-forward, Noslin has got himself sent off in a game which is essentially already lost. Now Marusic getting involved with Mazzocchi, and Lazio have again lost their cool. It's also gratuitous. And someone needs to get hold of these Lazio players. A red card for both players. Lazio, like they were at Parma, down to 9. Marusic dismissed. Mazzocchi, who's a bit part player for Napoli, will have no involvement in the game against Verona. Davide Massa has had enough. And why Cancellieri is now seeking an explanation from Conte, I don't know. Today it will be a case of we've had 2 more players sent off, as opposed to looking at the conduct. You can understand Mazzocchi reacting and Conte actually stepping in to keep the 2 players apart. This is not a good advertisement for Serie A. Could Davide Massa have issued a yellow card to both players? Perhaps. But he clearly felt he needed to further stamp down on ill discipline. Pedro's free kick. Guendouzi, it's off the crossbar. Very nearly a goal in the final minute of the match for Lazio. Isaacson, meantime, his ball in. That would have made for an interesting period of added time, because Lazio have already got a result this season with 9 men. This is how close Guendouzi came. Milinkovic-Savic ended up clattering the post. That's why he ended up holding his back. Di Lorenzo, one last dart forward for Politano. Politano, goal kick. Now 2 balls on the pitch. A bad-tempered game of football ends with another Napoli victory. 4 wins on the spin by a 2-0 scoreline across all competitions, either side of the turn of the year. A couple of unusual goal scorers today. Spinazolla with the first, Rrahmani with the second. Lazio ended the game with 9 players. Napoli finished with 10. But Napoli do respond to Milan's victory in Sardinia. They're back above Inter and Inter second, ahead of that game later tonight for the Nerazzurri. It ends at the Olimpico. Lazio 0, Napoli 2.